At age 8, I thought that I should commit suicide. Why? I didn't have hope. So I tried to give up. At age 10, I tried to drown myself in 6 inches or 15 centimeters of water in my home. I told my dad I just wanted to relax. Really, I wanted to end my life. I had enough.
But it was so hard because people put me down. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure. That I'd never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept. I couldn't change my circumstance. I couldn't just one day wake up and say, hey, give me arm's length, I need arm's length. And I had questions and no answers, and I asked my mum and dad, why did this happen? I asked doctors, why did this happen? And they don't know. There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change, and you got to live with. The choice that we have, though, is either to give up or keep on going. So what do you do when you fall down? Get back up. Everybody knows to get back up, because if I start walking, I'm going to get anywhere. But I tell you, there are some times in life when you fall down, you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. I'm down here, face down, and I have no arms, no legs. It should be impossible for me to get back up, but it's not. You see, I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again, and again, and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up. Does that make sense? And it's not the end until you've given up. There's still more. I'm not here today to tell you that I understand your pain. I don't know how it feels to be abused. I don't know how it feels to feel, quote, fat and you've got an eating disorder. I don't know how it feels to have a broken home. I don't know how it feels. I don't know how it feels to have a broken heart. And I don't know how it feels to be alone. But I just want you to know that it's not the end. It matters how you finish.
So I really like that last part where he says that no matter what your life circumstances are, life is a beautiful gift, right? And like he said in this short video, he's not going to know what it feels like to feel like a lot of maybe what you guys feel, right? And that's okay. I don't know what it feels like to be in your shoes right now. And that's okay, but all of us have tough things that happen in our lives. Every single person does, right? I'm not really sure that there's anyone out there that has an easy life. I don't know, maybe there is. Is there anyone in here that has a really easy life? Raise your hand if you do. I'd like to talk to you. Next slide. So we're going to talk a little bit about mental toughness today. So what is true mental toughness? The next slide, please. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand. Okay, and you guys will probably see this the more and more you get older and the more you go throughout life. Life is going to hand you and deal you cards that you're not expecting, right? Have you guys already experienced that a little bit in your lives? Right? All the adults are smiling. My life isn't anything like I thought it would be. Not even close. But there's a lot of that I can't control. I can control what I can control. Right? And that's true mental toughness. Next slide. So the big four. True mental toughness is controlling the controllables. There's just a few things that we can always control. Number one is our attitude, our effort, how we treat others, and being unconditionally grateful. Okay? Is it hard to be grateful for things sometimes? Raise your hand if it's hard to be grateful sometimes. Okay? I know for me it is. Right? Sometimes our brains are trained to focus on the negative. That's just how we are as human beings. If we can figure out how to focus on being unconditionally grateful, that is something that we can control, and it actually changes a lot in our life. It changes how we view life. It changes our happiness. I'd like to share an experience with you, a personal experience that might be applicable to you guys because it happened to me when I was in high school. Something happened to me that was out of my control, and I was trying to figure out how to make the best out of the situation. So when I was in high school, I went to Pleasant Grove High School just down the road for my sophomore year. And I had grown up in Pleasant Grove pretty much my whole life, and I was a high school athlete. I played basketball and softball, and I had played for many, many years. And I had a really great experience playing, and I was one of the best players on the team. And right at the end of my sophomore year, my parents came to me and they said, "We're moving to Arizona." And I thought, what? I don't want to move to Arizona. I have established myself on my teams. I had a really good plan to go play for a college. I was excited. I was all ready to go. My parents told me we were moving, right? And that was really heartbreaking for me. It was really difficult to move right before my junior year in high school to a different state where I didn't know anybody. So we moved to Arizona and we got down there. And the first 2 months while we were down there, my mom was pregnant with my baby sister. And my baby sister passed away. That was another thing that I couldn't control. And we were in a brand new state, didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. I wasn't really even sure what to do. Could I control any of that? No. The only thing that I could control was my attitude, my effort, how I treated other people, and I really tried to be unconditionally grateful. And it was hard. I cried a lot. I decided to do just that. And I went and I tried out for the basketball team. And I made the team. And I had a really amazing coach and a great experience. But guess who wasn't one of the top scorers on the team anymore? Me. I had a completely different role that I needed to figure out. And I had lots of new friends that I needed to try to make, and it was really scary for me. And I went to my coach one day and I said, "Coach, am I doing everything that I can on this team? Do I have a good attitude? Am I working hard?" And he said, "Jena, you are." He said, "I realize that your role on this team is different than other teams. I know your ability to score, but your role on this team is a little bit different. And I'm really grateful for you that you were able to take on that role. And I was able to do that because I had a good attitude and I worked hard and I treated everyone on my team well. I respected them and I treated them with kindness. And I was also grateful. I was grateful for this new team. I was grateful for the new people that I was meeting in Arizona, even though it was really scary for me and really hard. How many of you guys have ever moved before and had to meet new people? It's really scary, isn't it? It's even scary to come into a brand new school, isn't it? It's been scary for me. I mean, I know that you guys think that I'm a completely competent adult that's confident, but it's even scary for adults to come into new situations, right, teachers? It's even scary for us. It's hard to go out of our comfort zone. But if we can do these things and try to control these 4 things, it makes life a little bit easier and a little bit better. And it creates that mental toughness that we can get through anything that we can control. So I'm going to tell you the outcome of my basketball team because I think it's pretty cool. So our first year, it was a brand new high school. It was the first year the school was open. So just like this school. And we didn't have any seniors on my basketball team. They all stayed over at Gilbert High School. So we were expected to just be probably an average team, right? Well, guess what? We won the state championship. Our record was 27-3, and we lost to the same team 3 times, and then we ended up beating them in the state championship. Pretty awesome, right? And I'm not saying that that was the outcome because I did that, but it was a pretty awesome outcome. And I think a lot of that outcome is because, for me, it was a great outcome because I had controlled these 4 things. And so I had the best case scenario as far as an outcome. And the second year I was there, which was my senior year, guess what we did again? We won the state championship again. And our record was 32-0. It's pretty great, right? It was pretty awesome for me to experience that after I had gone through such a difficult time. And I realized that that's not always the outcome for everybody when you try to have mental toughness. Not everyone's always going to be a state champion. You're not always going to progress and be a millionaire in your life. You're not always going to be this great successful person, which is okay. But I'm telling you that if you can do these 4 things, you can be happy and you can be at peace. And that is a result of mental toughness. You can do anything you want to do. Next slide, please. So the real danger comes from trying to control uncontrollables or partially controllable events, circumstances, or situations. Next slide. So the power equation is the event plus the response equals the outcome. Okay, the example that I just gave you guys is exactly that, right? I had an event take place in my life that I couldn't control. It was really difficult for me. My response was a positive response. I worked really hard. The outcome for me was a great outcome. And guess what? Even if we didn't win the state championship, it still would have been a good outcome because I would have overcome such difficult things, right? The outcome of me moving to Arizona still wasn't a great outcome. I lost my baby sister. That was really hard for me. That wasn't a great outcome, but I still have a good attitude, right? Because I practiced those 4 things and I was still grateful for what I did have in my life and wasn't focusing on what I didn't have. Okay, next slide. So the growth mindset statement, anything that happens to me is in my best interest when I view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Okay? When hard things are happening to us in our life that we don't have any control over, if we can somehow get into this mindset and say, you know what, this is really hard right now, but guess what? this is such a great learning opportunity for me. And I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to get through it and I'm going to come out on top on the other end. Right? Do you guys think you can do that when hard things come up in your life? Okay? Next slide. So, value statement. My value comes from who I am, not from what I do. This is very important, you guys. You guys are valuable for who you are, not from what you do. You are not your past, you are not your performance, and you are not your potential. You are valuable just for who you are. The last thing I want to share with you real quick is a story about my friend. My friend Carson was a gymnast and a swimmer and very athletic, super happy guy. And about 5 years ago, he was at a trampoline park with his family. Carson's just a few years younger than me, so he's in his 20s. Just kidding, I'm in my 40s. But he's just a few years younger than me. And he was at a trampoline park with his family. And because he's such an experienced gymnast, he was doing flips and having a great time at this trampoline park, right? In this one particular flip, he jumped and he flipped and he landed in the foam pit. And right when he landed, he knew something was wrong. He couldn't feel anything from his neck down, and suddenly his heart just started to break. His heart felt broken immediately because he was so afraid that he might be paralyzed. And that would have been so devastating for him because he's so active in his life. The ambulance came and got him and he went to the hospital. And it turns out he's paralyzed. He's a paraplegic, so from the waist down he can't move. It's been really devastating for him. Somebody who is a gymnast, a swimmer, he's very active. And he can't do anything that he loves anymore. He tries to, he can still do a few things. But I've watched him over the last 5 years. In a really painful, difficult situation, he has been able to make his life good still. Because he has mental toughness, and he spends his time now, much like the man on the video, he spends his time speaking, motivational talks, he marches in parades with his wheelchair. He gets overheated really easy, so someone always has to follow him and spray him with a spray bottle. But he's a really amazing person. And that's been such an example to me of something really tragic and difficult that happened to somebody that was completely out of his control, and he has done his best to work through that. With gratitude, a good attitude, still loving others and being kind to everybody that he meets. And because of that, he is at peace and he has a good life. So I hope that you guys can take what you learned today and apply it into your lives. And realize that you have the ability to do whatever you want in your life. It is up to you guys. Right? You have the ability to dig deep down inside of your soul and figure out what you want for yourself. And you have the equation, you have lots of people who love you and can help you and can help you to get to where you want to be. And we hope that you utilize us while you're here at the school and other people who love you. And trust yourself. Trust yourself to be mentally tough because you can do it. If there's anything that you guys ever need while you're at the school, please don't hesitate to reach out. Your teachers love you. Your Jet Time teachers love you. I know that I don't know a lot of you personally, but I hope to get to know you soon. And I can honestly say that I do love you because I genuinely love people. So I hope to get to know you guys a little bit better. Have a great day and thanks for coming.